Welcome everyone, it's Blazing Fury Gaming here. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I'm here again with Mastery Pyke. Basically the concept here was I was going to play a character or champion all the way up to level 5 Mastery to see what I learned from playing that champion over and over and over again, to see if I can gain any insights on how the champion plays, to better learn how to play against it and play with it in the future. I chose Pyke because he's currently the newest champion, and he's been getting a lot of flack for being a terrible support with terrible win rate and stuff like that. I didn't find that to be the case while playing him. Currently, this is a brand new account pretty much. It was a fresh 30 last season, and I played like 15 games on it and ranked or something like that. I think I'm currently Silver 1, one game away from hitting those promos or something like that. My overall record with Pyke, when I went from never having played him before, literally not having a single game on even on my main account, took me 33 games. I went 21-12 with a 64% win rate. Did really well with him. My KDA was just under 5 for those 33 games, I think. I think it was 4.83 or something like that overall, which is pretty decent. Pyke really does stand out in a lot of different categories, in my opinion. And once you get him ahead, it is really hard for a team to come back from Pyke getting his team ahead. We're going to go over some things. I'm going to try to progress my video clips here in basically from early games all the way up until we finished, and see if I learned anything and talk about stuff as we go along. We'll talk about what I did horribly wrong at the beginning and what I learned and improved on as we progress through. I'm not entirely sure what I expect this video length to be. This will be the first one of these that I actually do a complete video on. I think I did a teaser of Poppy, but I never actually finished that video. I still have all the footage, so I might make it, but since the runes and stuff have changed, I might just skip that one and come back to it later or something like that. So, without further ado, here is the rest of Pyke. Alright guys, we're going to talk about Pyke and how I feel about him overall while I learn to master him. There's going to be clips playing in the background, quite a few of them. They go from my very first game with Pyke all the way up until the very last game with Pyke. I don't have clips from every single game. We played 33 of them. This video is not going to be 45 minutes long. It's an 18-minute video, nothing crazy. There'll be several clips from the first few games, and then we're going to be sporadically picking them up. There'll still be an order, but they'll be sporadic and stuff like that. So you can kind of see as my progression on skill and stuff goes. I'm not going to talk about the clips specifically. We're just going to talk about some things that I learned with Pyke and some build choices and stuff like that. So basically, Pyke is an assassin. He gets played as support primarily, but can be played in almost every single role in the game. I haven't seen him played as an ADC, but I've seen him everywhere else. I personally played him in the top lane a couple times. I played him in the middle lane once. I tried to jungle one game, but it ended up being a remake. I really wanted to get a jungle Pyke game, but it never actually happened for me. For the vast majority of my games, I think it was 29 of them, I played him as a support. His overall support win rate at the time of me making this video was somewhere near like 48%, like it's really low. That being said, my win rate, granted this is from a completely unranked account, I believe I made it just somewhere in the middle of Silver 1. I had a 64% win rate on him, which is pretty decent in my opinion. I think that winning 2/3 of my game, my regular elo on my main account is like gold 3 or something like that. So it's not like I'm playing superbly under my current skill cap or whatever it is. But I did have a good time with him. I love Pyke. I plan on playing him quite a bit whenever I get him in this, get support autofilled or whatever. He's a very good champion in my opinion. He has a lot of nuances. There's a lot of things that you can learn about playing him with your Q, your W, your E, and your ult. I learned that you probably should not ult champions that you don't know whether or not they have flash. And I mean, unless there is really another choice. If you're just gonna miss the kill. If you're just trying to use your ult to get a kill, if you know they have flash, probably not a good idea to use it. Try to kill them in another way. Wait till they flash and then ult them. Because if they flash out of your ult, you just wasted it. It does no damage. You missed, and it goes on a very long cooldown. Not great. Your E, or Phantom Undertow, I don't even know what I think it's called. Your dash has a lot of tricksy things about it. You have to be your shadow has to go through them, like completely, not just partially. I don't quite understand why that is. Like, your shadow just can't touch them. It has to go all the way through their body in order to stun them. I find this really annoying, especially when you think you made it and then you didn't. I personally dislike the way E currently works, but it might just be a skill issue. I might just be really bad at it. I don't know. Your W is a very good escape tool. It can be used to enter fights. It can be used to exit fights. It can be used just as a healing tool. I think by the time you're level 18, you're getting back somewhere near like 90% of the health and damage that champions deal to you whenever you are unseen. Your gray health is insane. You should abuse the crap out of it in lane, dip into a bush. It's also a very good tool to find out whether or not the enemy has vision in a bush. I didn't learn this until probably halfway through my journey. But my lord, once you find out, oh, the enemy has vision here, that's fantastic. It's kind of a way to just scout for wards. You can't necessarily clear them every time, but you know where your enemy has vision, and that is half the battle, right? Vision is probably, it's the way you win or lose games. It's fantastic, knowing where people can see you. And your passive is a way to trigger that. I don't personally know of any other champion that can just detect wards that way. I think that is a very unique thing that is to Pyke. I don't know that was an intended thing. I'm sure that it didn't get missed or anything like that, but it is really nice. Your Q, very two-sided. You can use it as just a damaging ability to augment an auto attack, to finish something off, to give them a nice slow. You just tap it, stab somebody, they get a big slow, and that's that. Or you can use it to yank people. It's similar to like a Blitzcrank or a Thresh pull in that it hits them and it pulls them if you've charged it up. But it always pulls them a set distance, which is 550 units, which isn't a whole lot, but it is enough to get people over small walls. It's enough to throw them over your body if you're right on top of them, which can make for some really, really cool plays, especially if you're trying to escape. Someone's chasing you start running at somebody who has flanked you, like they've gotten behind you, and you charge up your Q, you throw them over your shoulder and keep running to safety towards your tower or just somewhere safe. It's pretty neat. Your E can also be used in really cool ways. Like you can use it if you know somebody's going to be somewhere, like they have a telegraphed ability like Malphite's ultimate, or let's see here, like a Jax jump, like you know that he's going to jump to you, or an ally or something like that. You can just dash through them. It's pretty nice stuff there. Your passive is also an extremely unique passive. A lot of passives in League of Legends tend to be unique, but they're not really. You have the 3-hit passives that a lot of champions have and stuff like that, like Echo and we got here. Who else? There's a bunch of people that have 3-hit passives. Of course, I can't think of anyone. I'm thinking about it off the top of my head. Who else has a 3-hit passive? Come on. I'm never going to think about that. I'm never going to figure this out. Whatever. 3-hit passive. His passive is extremely unique in that it prevents you from gaining health, and it instead converts any health you would gain to attack damage at the rate of 14 health per 1 attack damage, which turns out can be a lot of attack damage over the course of a game if you're building health items. There are a lot of health items that have AD on them already, which are very good to supplement your build. You can build very tanky items to get the armor and stuff, but also just end up dealing a ton of damage. You end up kind of feeling like a Rakan, where Rakan doesn't necessarily have to build tanky items, but is tanky. It's kind of the opposite. You can build tanky items and deal damage. It's really kind of neat. Items that I suggest you always buy on Pyke as a support are things like Guardian Angel. I personally like Relic Shield. A lot of people like Coin. Not for me. I feel like I have to be. I feel like the coin makes me feel too passive, and I've already played a passive lane to begin with, so I like to be able to go in and get those lovely minion kills or whatever. I feel like it's just sharing that stuff with my ADC feels better to me or whatever. Other items that you should buy. Your boots are situational. I bought Merc Treads a lot because I dislike being CC'd. Armor boots are fine. Cooldown reduction boots are okay. Things that I bought, or the other item you should always buy is Duskblade. It is really, really good with your ability to go into camouflage. You can get a ton of procs with it, or like that. After that, I suggest you build more tanky items. They don't necessarily have to be like pure tank items like Face of the Dead Man's Plate. I always call it Face of the Mountain. Dead Man's Plate, stuff like that. Those items are okay. Not necessarily the best, but they're good choices. What else is there? There's things that I bought Steric's Gauge a lot at the beginning, but I kind of backed off of buying that item. I'm not entirely sure why. It still gives you that shield, gives you that boost of attack damage and stuff when you're low on health. I don't think I ever really bought a Tiamat item. I did buy Essence Reaver a lot because Pyke's cooldowns are really, really long. And if you can pull somebody 2 or 3 times during a team fight because Essence Reaver procs, it actually is really awesome. I started buying that near the end of my games, almost every game. And it worked out really, really well. Tank items I bought, I like to buy Knight's Vow, which just helps your ADC a lot. Spirit Visage is really good. It synergizes really well with your passive. I think that there's a build that allows you to go with Spirit Visage and Revitalize in the Resolve tree that allows you to basically regenerate like 98% of your health at level 18 from your passive. But other than that, your itemization, usually people just build damage or just flat tank. I personally like a little bit of a mix of both. I build healthy items. If I build an item, it almost always has attack damage or health, or both. That way I'm always getting attack damage when I build an item. So that's always a good thing to have. Other things we have here to talk about. Your role in team fights is an assassin. You should always be trying to get to flank to go after the squishies. Always find that mage, find the ADC, because if you can get into them using your W, and you can stab them with your Q, you can stun them with your E, you can kill them with your ult. If you're in a late game team fight, you can kill an ADC almost every single time. If they don't have their flash, they are probably dead to just you alone. You have a lot of attack damage at the end of the game. Somewhere near like 400 with just regular item build. So that's good. Pardon me, I'm not used to talking this much. Let's see here. Other things to talk about. Well, let's talk about my KDA and stuff. So over the course of the 33 games that we played, I averaged out a 4.43 KDA, which I feel is pretty decent as a support. I died and averaged 8.4 kills, 3.8 deaths, 8.7 assists, with a total of 31 double kills, 4 triple kills, a quadra kill, and the pentakill that you saw at the very beginning of the video. Just the one pentakill. I was really hoping to get a second one after I got the first one so early, but it just never kind of lined up. And the quadra kill that I did get, there was no chance at me getting the pentakill. I picked up the second kill, so second, third, fourth, and fifth. So I knew that no one stole it from me or anything like that. Nobody escaped out of spite or whatever the heck you want to call it. So I averaged about 10.7 thousand gold a game with 78.8 CS. The most times that I died was 17, and the most times that I died was 9. The most kills that I got were 17 in a single game. We're talking, I believe I got placed in bronze 2? No. I was placed in silver 5, I think. And I worked my way all the way up to silver 1 with a 64% win rate. Overall, I really enjoyed Pyke. I thought that he brought a very interesting dynamic to the team. Being able to flank and kill people is fantastic. I will probably continue to play him on my main account and stuff like that. I really enjoyed him. And if you liked what you saw, please let me know in the comments below. Subscribe. Come check out the stream, twitch.tv/BlazingFuryGaming. I stream live 4 or 5 times a week. And I hope to see you there. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.